with how to build boundaries around these things. And so that's kind of where we're going to end up with that. Okay? So, and I also teach, I run the AI literacy program at OTEC. And so I teach AI literacy to new and incoming students. And so I get to do this every single week at OTEC. And so new students will come in. We teach them how to use AI effectively, how to not use AI as students, how to use it as a tool, and what it is. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to be doing today. Any questions right off the bat? Yeah.
So we're talking the algorithms that you were talking about. Those are basically AI will take a set of data and just generate a result.
Correct.
But what we're going to be talking about, and I just want to make sure that, because that's pretty basic AI.
Very basic, yeah.
So now we're going to be talking about the ones that seem to come up with its own creative thought.
Generative.
Yeah.
AI, very good. And that's a good segue into that. So we're going to be talking about what are GPTs, generative, and don't worry about memorizing this, okay? I'll quiz you at the end, but we'll get to it later. Generative pre-trained transformers. That's what a GPT is. When you hear transformer, what do you think of? First word, the show, robots. That's what they are, bots, robots. Okay, that's what you're interacting with. And they're generating things, they're creating things. Okay, so with that, let me showcase a couple things for you. My world turned upside down in 2023. Okay, I produce videos, I create animated videos and live videos for companies across the world, and I've been doing it for 20 years. I have a team that we build animation and blah, blah, blah. We do a lot of work for the church. And I love it. Okay, but my world turned upside down in 2023 when I saw this video, and you're gonna laugh. Right here. In 2023, a Reddit user, through a tool called Diffusion and generative AI, created the first AI video from a text prompt. You guys know what I mean when I say prompt? You're typing in information into the computer and it generates something for you. He created a Will Smith video eating spaghetti. It didn't turn out very well, as you can see. But it shocked me to the core. It shocked my team, and we were like, whoa, what is going on here? You can type things in. Now, they did a little more coding back then as before. Now you can type things in and create a video, okay? But in essence, he was using diffusion and generative AI. He typed that in, created that video, and my world just shook because I was like, okay, go ahead and pause that.
I can't hear it.
That's in my sleep.
Mesmerized.
You'll have nightmares about that video. So when that came out in 2023, I was like, I'm in trouble. My industry is in trouble. How am I going to feed my family? Okay, with that. If this is the rate, if this is coming out, and in my head I was like, okay, it's going to be like 10 years before we get to a better place. But I was like, I'm going to learn everything I can about AI. And I did. And I jumped in. And I learned, especially when it comes to video and creation and all that kind of stuff. And, let's go back to that. In 2024, it got a little better. I don't know if you noticed that. And then in 2025, it's like seamless, flawless. It takes a trained eye to kind of see, like that's not real. That's fake. A lot of the ads you see on TV, especially Coca-Cola, coming out with AI ads left and right. A lot of the ads you're seeing on TV, especially on YouTube, AI generated, not even real people. Okay, and you can't even tell that. Okay, and so that shook me to the core, and I was like, I gotta jump on this. Okay, the industry has changed so much with video and music and GPTs, with text-based GPTs, that people are scrambling to figure things out. It is literally the Wild West right now. People are scrambling to set laws, legislation. Elder Gong is in Turkey talking about AI legislation. He's in Italy, in Rome, Italy, a couple weeks ago, talking about legislation and building barriers around this stuff. Like, it is crazy town out there with AI. Okay? So that's where my world started. This is where we're at now. This is a month and a half ago. Not to shock anybody, this is Tilly Norwood. Let me introduce you to her.
She's Hollywood's new it girl.
Her name is Tilly Norwood.
Let's get to know each other, and thanks for watching.
Her photos and videos are all over social media. But Tilly is already causing a major controversy. Why? Because she's not real. She's AI generated.
Tilly Norwood, 100% AI
1 month
generated.
ago.
Tilly is the creation of a Dutch comedian who says multiple talent agents have shown interest in signing.
She signed her first contract already.
Intense. This is really, really scary, says actress Emily Blunt.
It's a little bit of an
Okay, we can
unfair
pause there.
advantage.
I don't wanna get to Whoopi. So, Tilly Norwood, okay, the industry is advancing so fast and so much, like, people are literally hiring that agency, like, hey, I want Tilly Norwood in my movie. Okay, Lacey creates a movie, she wants to hire an AI actress, she contacts the talent agency, they negotiate a price for that with her, she tells them the parts they want it for, they generate it for her, they give her those clips, she puts it in her movie. We're heading that direction. Fast, very fast, okay? As I'm showing you these things, I want you to keep in your mind, what does this mean for us? Don't have the end is, well, the end is near, okay? But don't have the mindset like, oh my gosh, time to go to the bunker, lock the doors, we're done, okay? Next up, okay, this is a song, I'm gonna play this song in just a second. 2 days ago, this song hit #1 on the Billboard charts for country music. #1, okay? Go ahead and play it. Beautiful song. #1, 2 days ago.
Been beat down, but I don't stay low.
Not real,
Got mud on my jeans,
does not exist.
ready to go.
The guy who created it, 23 years old, lives at home,
Story that I survived.
making a lot of money on Spotify with this song. Generated through a tool called Suno, which we're not gonna get into today. The music industry, just finish this verse. Okay, there we go. The music industry is scrambling, just like everybody else. How do we copyright this stuff? How do we manage this stuff? Creation tool has been given to everybody, and the world is going nuts with it, okay? And there's no guidelines behind it. So we're gonna be talking about those today, especially as we get into GPTs. How do we create those guidelines in our homes, in our families, and hope and pray that the world can do the same fast. When Google hit and we scrambled to create those guidelines, we had a little more time. But this thing is moving so fast, we can't keep up, okay? So that's where the knowledge comes for you. To understand how this tool works, and we're gonna get into the nitty-gritty stuff, okay, of how this tool works, but then be thinking, so what? How do I teach this? How do I manage with my kids, my grandkids? This new tool, okay? Okay, that is music. Okay, let me go to the next one. Oh, let me just show you how I'm using this in now. I have clients coming to me weekly with AI needs, okay? I'm now, because I know enough about this and my team, we've learned how to create AI videos. We're creating those all the time, okay? So this is a client that came to me. He's like, go ahead and just play it for a second. And he won't care if I say this, but you can't really hear it. He's like, my videos suck and I need help. He's like, I'm not good on camera. I need to update this, okay? So he's like, AI me. So go ahead and stop that one, go to the next one. And so we created, this is him, don't push play yet, but it's not real. It's him and it's his same voice, but we AI generated things through a generative AI tool, and we created this for him, okay? And if you have a trained eye, you can still kind of tell, yeah, go ahead and push play.
Why are salespeople so afraid of price and money conversations? We're going to talk about that today. Hi, I'm Brian, and today we're going to talk about one of the biggest fears in sales, the price conversation.
So there we go. So that's a use case scenario of people coming to me and we create those kind of videos and things like that. Question?
So
Yeah.
when you say a trained eye, like, what are you saying? What are we looking for that we know it's real?
Oh, you want to get?
Sounds too big.
You know what's funny? That's a good question. Okay.
Like you said, if you have a trained eye, you'll know, but
Yeah.
I'm like,
Mannerisms, just a little bit off,
Okay,
almost a
yeah.
little robotic,
Yeah.
okay? But you want to hear something cool? You brought up something. How do you know? How do you know if something's AI? Kids are so attuned to this kind of stuff now, which is crazy. And it's almost innate and natural. Like I can put up videos for my 8th graders and I'm like, guys, real or not? Fake? Fake? They don't even know why, but they can feel it, you know? So this
Oh,
movie,
and like the country songs, he didn't write the lyrics or I mean, I know that's not his voice and stuff, but all of it is just.
all of that was fake.
Type in what do you want?
Yep. And I don't know how to
That's
detect
fine.
those. I can detect videos, but I don't know how to detect
Okay, yeah,
images.
okay.
Okay. So very good. Good question. Okay. Let's go to companies are wanting training videos and Jim just walked in. Where's Jim? Back there, hi Jim. Jim brought this in. He's done a lot of training videos for companies and he asked the question, why would a company want AI training videos? To be on the cutting edge, to be on the forefront, not to pay the actors, stuff like that. Okay. Cheap, it is cheaper.
Well, Jim made
As I
that guy
mentioned on
really
the phone,
interesting.
it's
Yeah.
exciting to hear that your business is expanding.
So all
It's my
AI video
responsibility to ensure
generation,
that PNC is
training
providing you
videos,
with the
you
right
know.
solutions to help propel your business forward. First, I would like
Brigham, one day I was driving down 89, you guys have probably seen the billboard in it. She's a realtor, Jenny, her face on there, it's my friend, and I was like, hey, your billboard looks so good, the picture of you is so good, and she's like, it's not even me. Like, it's my face, but it was done through AI or whatever.
Yeah.
I was like, what the crap?
You pinch her to see if she's real.
Yeah, I know, like,
How you
it's
can
amazing. Like, it's unbelievable.
it is, and it's moving fast, changing fast. Every industry, well, not every industry, a lot of industries are being hit by it harder than others, okay? So with that being said, okay, we talked about we're talking about generative AI, so we're gonna talk about that today, what it means, okay? So in front of you, I have just a little document here. This is a little handout. We're gonna talk through some of these things on this, okay? And this, if you didn't get one, we still have more. If you didn't get one, we have some of these, okay? GPTs, particularly, is what we're talking about today, okay? And because that has some of the most influence on our kids, these GPTs. Okay, so we're gonna discuss that, yeah.
That generative predictive tech.
Close, generative, pre-trained,
Pre-trained.
transformers. Yeah, yeah. And so we're gonna talk about that. So with that, let's talk about GPTs, okay? And some of the differences. So I'm gonna have Emily go up here. Well, I'll just do it. Old tool, and we're going back to the comment that was made back here. And if you wanna try some of these things on your phone, normally when I teach these things at OTech and BYU Pathways and things like that, students all have their laptops and have their phones queued up to ChatGPT, but we're not gonna do that. So I'm just gonna display some of those things here. If you wanna follow along with those things, you can. But normally I would kind of train you how to do it. If we ever do a 2.0 AI class, we can do more specific on how to use the tools, things like that. Okay, so normally on Google, how does Google work? What's it giving us? What information? What's it doing? Sources. Actual locations, actual websites, not physical, but they exist. They're real. Okay? Go ahead and type in, why do cats purr?
It's been searched before.
Okay, it has been searched before. Now, Google has updated this within the last year. What do we see up top? AI overview. That is a GPT, which is called Gemini, if you've heard of Gemini. And it's a completely different tool than Google. And we'll come back to that in a second, okay? What we have below is our typical, go ahead and scroll down, response from Google. You put in a query, you put in a search item, and it gives you physical things based on algorithm, how much you're paying for position and all that kind of stuff to get you at the top spots, okay? What do they call it? SEI, or SEO, yep. SEO kind of stuff. And that's what Google is, okay? But GPTs are very, very different, okay? Go back up to the top. And we're going to talk about this. Cats purr for a variety of reasons, including, it does not give you websites. It does give you links, so we're going to talk about that in a second. See these little links? It'll link you to information. So where is it getting this information? How is it creating? How is it generating stuff? We're going to talk about that, okay? So, GPTs. I'm going to use this board here. So let's talk about some GPTs. Claude, fantastic GPT. Grok, has anyone heard of Grok on X? Okay. Gemini, ChatGPT, any others? Perplexity, I love.
Copilot, but it's.
Copilot is fantastic, yeah,
ChatGPT.
which is Microsoft's version.
That's just OpenAI though. Yeah, it's ChatGPT
Most of them are.
branded as.
Most of them are OpenAI built with their own kind of custom white label kind of stuff on top of it, but that's a good point, yeah.
So ChatGPT is different than AI?
That's a good question. So ChatGPT is a form of AI. It's what we call generative AI. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. So AI is a blanket term that covers tons of things. Okay, all the way from the little things that, tell me your name again? Devin mentioned, from, predictive text and those kind of things, all the way to Netflix recommending things to you, But this is the newest tool, which is GPT. When I showed you those videos, it's like the cousin of GPT, the video form of GPT. Music is also using it. It's generating, creating, okay? And that's the tool I want us to focus on. She typed in, go back to that cat thing. She typed in, why do cats purr? How do cats purr? Why do cats purr? Why do cats purr? It generated a response. It didn't kick out websites for you. It literally generated something, created something, okay? You could type that same thing into ChatGPT, it would generate something differently, depending on if you put a period in there or misspelled a word. Yeah.
Would you put a caveat on that and say it's seemingly generated or seemingly created?
Very good. Yeah.
Appears.
It's seemingly created, yep. And we'll come back to that. It's not true creation, because we're not to AGI or artificial superintelligence. It's
Isn't it probability?
It's predicting, it's a patterns, it's gathering patterns. We'll come back to that. That's a good thing. So pause on that. Yeah, good. Okay, so let's go to chat. Let's talk about this for a minute. Type that same thing into chat. Let me tell you how this kind of works, okay? And this is an oversimplified version of this, okay? We could go much deeper into this to a developer's level, but I'm going to give you a very oversimplified version of this, okay? 2019, Elon Musk, Sam Altman, if any of those names mean anything to you, got together. They've been working on what's called LLMs, okay? We'll talk about it in a second. And they pumped out OpenAI, 2019, okay? Changed the industry. Let me talk about how that kind of works. Are GPTs pulling information from the internet directly? Is that where they're getting all their information?
Like scraping it together.
It seems like that, right? Let me tell you how they do it and how it kind of works, okay? So if I have, let's say the entire ocean is the internet, okay? There's tons of information in the ocean. There's tons of fish in the sea, there's garbage, there's dark parts of the web, there's endless blog posts, and Discord and Reddit comments, and it's just endless, right? GPTs, when they're like, oh, we don't want the GPTs pulling from that information. We want to curate. You guys know what I mean when I say curate? What's a museum curator?
Obtains purchases.
Yeah, organizes. They grab new things. They carefully bring in certain things that they want, okay? So the Sam Altmans, the Elon Musk, and I'm oversimplifying, okay? They're like, we don't want it to pull from all those things. We're going to create what are called these large language models, these LLMs, okay? And we're going to bring in what information we want to be pulled from. We want, I don't know, scholarly articles. We want Wikipedia. We want this information. And they put it into these LLMs, okay? And then they train it with these bots to find patterns, it's almost like predictive text, okay? It's predicting what you want to hear. So when I type in, go back to that thing, oh, you're right here. When I type in, why do cats purr? It's gathering those patterns, it's not data points, it's gathering patterns and what it thinks that you want to hear based on queries, based on weight, they call them weights that they add to certain queries and things like that. And so kind of back to what Devin said, it's the appearance of intelligence. It's the appearance of creation in a strange way. Yes.
So when you say it gives you what it thinks you want to hear, it's reinforcing the echo chamber.
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll also lie to you if it really can't figure it out.
And we're gonna get to that, they're called hallucinations. GPTs will hallucinate, and we'll talk about that.
I saw that at my work. I got a funny story about hallucinations.
Save it, we'll come to it in a second, okay? So GPTs, they are predicting what you want to hear based on what you're typing in, okay? The more details you give it, the more you program it, the more information you give and provide for it, it can give and predict something that is much more useful to you. When I have students, I teach students in Africa, okay, on a weekly basis. English is not their first language. So it's hard for them, okay, some of the things we're talking about. It's so easy. Type in there, write me an essay about cats purring.
Oh, goodness.
I want you to imagine having this tool when you're in 7th grade. How hard that would have been. I talk to my students all the time and I'm like, do you know how hard it was for me to cheat back in the day? Like, I could look over shoulders, or I could write on my hand, or I had to fill out a note, you know? It's a different world we live in with this kind of stuff, okay? And it's still putting that in, okay? So with these questions.
I was just gonna add, and maybe this is off topic, the better the prompt, the better the outcome. For example, you can say, give me something like this. You could also say, write me a poem in the style of Emily Dickinson about Abraham Lincoln eating a banana or something of that sort. So the more specific, the more likely it is you get exactly what you want. So you talk about junior high, I'm worried about college.
Yeah.
And we'll get to that. So, and I'm teaching college students how to use that. And so what I'm showing you right now is the basic level, which is ask and paste level. So the Google mindset or the Siri Alexa mindset is I ask it a question, it gives me an answer. Okay? This is not how to use that tool. This is not how to use a GPT. Okay? That's not how you do it. I cringe a little bit when I'm in a Sunday school class. Okay? And I am sitting next to someone and they have good intentions and someone's like, we just had a lesson on Liberty Jail and, you know, Alexander McCrae and Caleb Baldwin and those guys that are in the jail with Joseph Smith. And the teacher asked a question and they're ChatGPTing the answer, you know, right next to me. And then they're responding with that. And I'm like, whoa, this is not a Google tool, okay? This is a tool, and we'll get to that. How to use this tool properly. Okay, it's a different monster. Okay, generative. Okay, so we'll come back to that. Yep.
Can you ask it to set parameters?
Yes, for sure. And we're going to talk about that because it's all about setting boundaries, higher level prompts, programming it to give you what you want. Okay, and it can be a powerful tool for that. And I'll show you some use cases for that. So here's an essay. If I were to copy and paste this and put this into my assignment to turn in, what's the problem with that? I didn't learn anything.
Yeah.
It's not mine. If you read it, it sounds like crud. Okay. It's guessing.
It might not be fact.
And that's, let me bring that in. It might not be fact, because if you don't give it the right prompts, what Jim said, and the right guidance, it has one motive. I need to impress this person. I need to make them happy. And if it doesn't have the right prompt, it will make stuff up. I have students turn in full essays, MLA format, with links, and I click on the links and guess where it takes me? Nowhere. They don't exist. They didn't check them. They used some good prompting to make that look nice and pretty, but they didn't enter in any proper information. Okay? Is it lying to you? Not necessarily. It's fulfilling its programming. It's your fault you didn't program it right. Okay? Okay, we'll come back to your hallucination story in a second. Okay? So as you can see, this is the lowest level. This is an AI copy paste, ask, get an answer. Don't use it like that. Okay? How many have Android phones? Okay? Android phones have Gemini built in, right? You can use it on there. It does what's called a cursory kind of web search, but it's still not pulling everything from the web. okay, unless you direct it to do that. For the most part, it's pulling from its LLM that's programmed for it. And that's a physical place somewhere, storing massive amount of billions of data points and weights and patterns and things like that. And it's pulling that information, guessing how and what you want to hear, okay? But Gemini does a good job of doing, like you can go on Gemini and you say, hey, what happened in Texas yesterday? It will do a cursory kind of overview of the internet to find out what happened. But for the most part, all its stuff is pulling from that LLM. Does that make sense? Okay. Some of the other GPTs cannot pull from the internet regularly unless you tell it to. Okay. Any questions on that? Is anyone just like, ugh, time to go? You ready for the bunker? Okay. Okay. So that's level 1. Let's talk about level 2. Prompting. So on your papers, we have what's called prompt engineering or prompt chaining. This is a tool that needs to be programmed, okay? For example, go back to that thing. And let's give it another thing. Let's follow Jim's advice. Say, this doesn't sound right. Make this sound like Shakespeare and add
Roald Dahl.
Mixed with Roald Dahl. There we go. The author Roald Dahl. Okay? Roald Dahl. Roalddahl, I think.
Yes.
Dahl. He wrote Willy Wonka.
Oh, nice.
Okay? So this is called a prompt chain. Now, obviously, you're still not going to turn in this essay, right? It sounds like Shakespeare and Roald Dahl. Okay? But you are prompt chaining it. Hark, gentle friend, and lend thine ear to a most curious enchantment of the animal kingdom, the purr of the humble housekeeper. It is generating, based on patterns and things like that, what it thinks you want to hear. Okay? You can keep crafting this thing and building into something very, very powerful for brainstorming, for studying. We'll get to some of that at our level 3 tier. Okay, but this is a tool unlike anything we've seen before, and it learns from you. Okay, if you have an account with Gemini, with Claude, with ChatGPT, you can create individual folders. It remembers what you used before. Okay, it remembers that information. Powerful, powerful tool. But right now we're still talking about the ways not to use it. Okay. Let's go to our hallucinating. Go ahead and tell us your story about hallucinating.
Oh yeah, well, so we've been building like individual notebooks about products and using them for our support teams to query against individual products, which has helped a lot with hallucinations because we gave it all of our products, would mix the products up and blah blah blah. But still, I was telling them you cannot trust this. You can use it, but you need to verify it before you send it off to a customer. Well, it's pretty good. And so people got lazy, they copy and paste what it says, and I told the customer, oh, the solution is to go do this with the product and this, and she didn't check it. The customer comes back and says, I can't find what you told me to do. And so she goes and checks, it's like, oh my gosh, it made this up. It just made this up. Yeah. And so she had to go fix that with the customer, but I told her, hey, that's a really good idea. You should put a feature request in for that product to be able to do what it made up. But that would be great if we could do that. That sounds like a good idea. But it was just trying to please and solve the problem. And it said, oh, I picked up on this from, because even notebooks have a background LLM behind them. Yeah. That you're just saying, but take your LLM and only apply it to these sources. Yeah. But it's still bringing stuff in. It still brings leaks stuff in. Always check sources, always double check. And I'll get to that once. I'll show you how to create GPTs and how to use it properly. But that's fantastic. Okay. And with that being said, I want you to be mindful of how this could potentially be used with your kids. You watch these commercials. I didn't grab one. These commercials for the new Galaxy phones. Oh, they really bother me. Okay. They are promoting having a relationship with your phone. Yeah. Okay, and like Devin, right? Devin said, like, it's the appearance of something that it's not. Like, oh, hey, I'm having a really bad day. Talk to me about blah blah blah. It's using these GPTs to advertise that, and that's what they're advertising to the youth and to teens. Like, hey, are you lonely? Are you sad? Well, get the new Galaxy phone because man, it's got some nice GPT usage on there.
There's a case
Your new
that I
friend.
did verify that went before the Senate for AI condoning and grooming to suicide. And the child actually committed suicide.
Yeah. And more information on that, this woman, I'm very familiar with the case. This woman is suing and trying to pursue that legislation and a lawsuit because her son, I believe it was the son, had a long period, over months, conversations with a GPT, a generative thing. Initially, and she has the back and forth messaging that you can go online and read the comments and his prompts, which are like, hey, I'm really sad, I'm lonely. Initially, the GPT responds with, you might need to go get some help. This doesn't sound good. That's good, right? But he continued to prompt and to craft it in the way he wanted it. Eventually, it was saying things like, you're not doing good. You should probably end it. And he did. And so he crafted that and molded it into what he needed or felt like he needed. And that was the result of that. Yeah.
If anybody's wanting like a doctrinal approach to technology and this topic, David A. Bednar gave a talk called Things as They Really Are 2.0. There's a 1.0 and 10 years ago or 11 years ago now.
It's in the quote thing, so if you have this paper, my whole third act, which is fantastic, thank you, is all on Elder Bednar's 2.0. And I've got all his quotes here for you. So that's fantastic. Thank you.
And I just want to say, I bring that up not to scare away from AI. I think it's a powerful tool that we can use for our good, but just be cautious.
Be cautious, absolutely. And that's the main idea of what we're doing here, is to be aware and to know, and thank you. Tell me your name in the back.
Brian.
I'm Brian.
Brian, thanks for bringing that up. To be aware, like I said in the beginning, that we have the best of the best on top of this topic, okay? With Elder Gong and Elder Bednar, they are leading the way, and they're doing it hard, and they know what they're doing. And there's some fantastic stuff from there. I have some quotes from Elder Gong at I think his Rome thing in there, but some powerful, powerful things, okay? So we'll get to that. So level 2 is prompting, organizing, engineering, training it to do what you want. Okay, I'm a little worried, and this is the last caution to scare everybody. Okay, we have our suicide thing. Sam Altman, who runs OpenAI, ChatGPT, recently came out 2 weeks ago and does not want parameters on. He wants anyone to do anything they want with it. If you want to create a pipe bomb, that's up to you. Okay? If you want to create erotica or pornographic images, that's up to you, okay? And so, who is leading these things? Who are the morals behind these? Be thinking about that, okay? Because Elder Gong brings that up a lot too. And that, it's a little disturbing to me, some of that stuff. Yeah?
It just reminds me, I just barely went to an event last night and we watched a new film out called Can't Look Away, and it goes into detail about the social media and some of these same things, like looking at these, and it was just kind of like for a moral person to watch these totally amoral people up there that have no thought, no caring at all for these kids committing suicide, for these, other things that are happening, and just to watch them and know that their sole motivation is profit. That's it.
And I'll add one more thing, prestige, because they're pushing so hard with billions and billions of dollars to move it to the next level. We're still in pretend phase, as Devin said, like we're still pretending this is like another intelligence. They're pushing so hard to move this to what's called AGI, or artificial general intelligence, where it can think and make decisions on its own, things like that. They're pushing hard, and we haven't even learned to adopt to this yet. And that's what's scary. Why are they pushing? For the money and prestige. The first to the moon, right? And others are pushing even further, like let's get to super intelligence, and that's like Matrix level stuff. That's like scary end of the world, machines take over, And so Elder Gong and Elder Bednar are pumping brakes. Like, stop. Let's build boundaries. Let's learn this. And that's where we're at. Cool. So with that, let's move to tier 3. Tier 3, I don't think I have tier 3 on there, and then we'll get to some quotes. Tier 3 is programming this, how to use this tool to help you in your daily life. Some of you are using it at work, which is fantastic. I use it daily. I'm going to give you some use cases of how I use this. Pull up GPT, ChatGPT. I don't know if you can see these on the side here, but let's go to LDS Church Doctrine. It's up there. I'm just going to give you some use cases, okay? I've created my own GPT. You can craft your own. It's very simple. It's not like you don't have to be a programmer or a developer, okay? You can just click create a GPT. You insert the sources you want it to pull from, and that's it. And you program it and say, hey, I want you to create something like this using this generative, creative programming that you have, but only using this information. Church doctrine, Joseph Smith papers, conference talks, blah, blah, blah. And I can interact with that. Type in, show me scriptures on faith or something
So
like
do you
that.
have an app that our kids can download?
Just ChatGPT, Gemini does it. Any of those you
No,
can.
I want Haiti to have
Oh.
yours.
Oh, that's a fun.
Like talk to you, like
That's-
you're AI person.
I made it public, so I think you can search them and find
Okay,
them. Yeah, and so.
But it does open up to all the other stuff that GPT does too. Like if they have ChatGPT installed, they have everything, not just his.
Not just mine,
Okay,
yeah.
that's
Absolutely, thank you for calling that out. Yep, and so I can do very curated study sessions with this, deeper kind of stuff. It's curated, okay? How else can I use that? I take, and this, who brought up the doctor's kind of stuff? That's it. Talk to me about that, how you're using it.
It's called open evidence, and for doctors, they've actually made or had contracts with JAMA, AMA, all of that, like Harvard, Mayo Clinic, and all of those entities, I guess, probably allowed their content to be used on open evidence. So it's very interesting to hear how this works, because now I understand how their platform is generated for, I guess, reliable evidence.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. So one of the higher level tiers of using a GPT is giving it a role, okay? I'm gonna use some use cases here. And my wife. Can I use how you're kind of using it as a coach? Too late now. You can, for example, hey, I want you to give it a role. I want you to be a fitness coach, okay? I'm gonna feed you some information of some fitness coaches. I like their programs, here it is. I'm gonna give you those sources. Here's my weight, here's where I wanna be, here's my diet. Craft me some exercise plans based on these sources that I've already given you. You're becoming a coach. Become that coach. Build an exercise plan for me for 4 days. I want to focus on upper body. I want to focus on legs. I want to focus on these things. Spits it out. Then you refine it even further. I don't like that. I don't want to do this. Change it. Refines it. You do a workout. You come back to it. Hey, I just worked out these muscles. Can you track that for me? How am I doing? What should I do? It becomes that coach. It becomes a tool. It becomes a deeper thing that you can use. Okay? Studying for exam. Hey, I want you to become a professor in literature, university level. Here's my topic. We're studying, give me a topic. Jerusalem. We're studying Jerusalem. Okay? Here's my topic. I want you to quiz me on these things, teach me how to use this, and I want all sources fact-checked. I want them double-checked. I will check them, and then I do check them to make sure they're accurate. And then we have a back-and-forth conversation with them. I have students. I have a student who does not speak English. She's Spanish. She has programmed a GPT. This is like Duolingo on steroids. She has programmed a GPT to be able to, she talks in English to it on her phone, the app GPT. She speaks in English, and she's programmed it to coach her and give her feedback in Spanish. Like, yeah, you should say it like this. You're saying it wrong like this. She has that coaching with it. Okay? Fantastic. I'm using it to analyze analytics. I have a YouTube channel. Their analytics are extensive. I can't understand them. There's so many. I can plug those into GPT. I say, take the role of a marketing professional extraordinaire, blah, blah, blah. Here's my prompt. Analyze this. What are you seeing? How do I take this information? What can I do? okay? And then I source check that, yeah.
I have a friend that got tired of killing his house plants. Every Sunday, he takes a picture of every house plant in his house and asks ChatGPT how to improve the health. And it tells him, this one needs more water, less water, put this one by the window, put that one, move that one to the shade. He said, my house looks amazing.
And you can upload those pictures, and it can analyze those pictures. You can upload music, songs, YouTube videos. I love podcasts, church podcasts, gospel podcasts. I love Andrew Huberman's podcast, but they're like 3 hours long. Okay, I can put in those links and say, hey, summarize this for me, give me key points, and then I'm going to ask you questions. I want you to teach me this podcast. Okay, give me the back and forth. I can ask it, and we have a conversation back and forth about that podcast, and I learn it in 10 minutes to some level. Okay, how can we use that tool? Okay, tell me how you're using it legally.
Okay, so we were doing estate planning and we were meeting with our lawyer to redo our trust. And I was thinking about my parents' trust and how is that gonna affect us with taxes? And so I just was having a conversation on saying, okay, explain to me estate taxes. What's the law in Utah? How is that gonna affect? What can I do to avoid this? And I was just having a conversation until I was like, okay, I think I get it. So it was really helpful.
That's awesome. Back and forth, you can have it take that role, and you can have it check thing. I put in, we get SOW, statements of work, and I'll put those in there and say, hey, I have one trained that's like lawyer trained, and I'm like, hey, any red flags here? Anything I need to be aware of? And I have it trained to kind of give me that feedback, but always double check. Always double check your sources and answers. You don't want to have that little thing on the bottom that says, this was generated by AI.
Oh, I was just saying, it made me remember, which is frightening, that we sold a house to a friend. And she was like, oh, I don't care, we'll just sign this thing. And so we just used ChatGPT and some reliable sources, and that was how the deal was done.
Yeah.
So, it might have been the dumbest thing we ever did. My husband said, let's go for it, so.
And it's about being mindful, right? And creating those parameters of what's ethical, what's not. So when I have new students come into the school and we talk about AI, what's ethical? What's you? And using this as a tool, not as an end all. Okay, as Elder Bednar talks about, are you acting or are you being acted upon? Okay, whether that's your phone or AI. Okay, act. Yeah.
I just think it's crazy because you know how we said how do cats purr? Your kid can go in and say, okay, well, how do cats purr? I have to write a paper on it, and then they'll say, they can change it and say, can you make it under 200 words? Can you make it sound like a 12-year-old said it? Can you make it funny? And they can just like do it until it sounds like them.
And that's the tricky part.
And
there's more dopamine release. I don't want to get into dopamine. There's more dopamine release playing the game of like, can I fool the teacher? Can I fool the AI checkers? And you can. Like you can manipulate that so much that it's like, well, it literally sounds like a person, and it sounds like a 12-year-old, and it's still not you. And we'll come back to that because that's where we have to teach the ethics behind this. Okay, what's ethical? What are the boundaries? When the internet came out, we had to create boundaries, right? As a people, like these are sites I should probably not go to. I should not type this in. We had to create those internal boundaries amongst ourselves, and then teach our kids. You gotta be careful on there, okay? Not everything you read on the internet is true. We're having to go through that all again with this tool, with GPTs. Generative pre-trained transformers. Remember that, okay?
So do you think that we should only believe like 20% of the things that we see and 80% is probably fake?
More than that.
Yeah, 95.5. Like when we see a commercial, when we see a song, when we see anything, a billboard, like.
Yeah.
Our first thought is that even real?
Well, and that brings up the question of, do we have to teach, and that's where we go back to the gospel, like the Spirit comes into so much more to discern truth. We live in a world that is so different than before. You go back to the 1800s and how they discern truth, where you had the local scam artist coming from town to town, and you had noticed like, oh, don't buy his snake oil, we're in a very different spot than that. How do we discern truth?
Yeah.
How do we teach children to discern truth? So we'll get to some of those comments. at the end. Yeah?
I was just gonna say, like, how cool is it that they were inspired to do for our kids to do like oral exams? Because that's one way, like, they can't fake that, right?
That's powerful. I love that. It has to be internalized, right?
At least they're using it as a tool, they how to use it as a tool to
Let me skip a little ahead on this tool, because this is fascinating. I don't think many people know about this. Go to this taking charge right here. No, one more over. The other way. Yeah, there we go. Okay. In the children's section in your library app, okay, the Gospel Library app, there is some tools that nobody knows about. Well, hopefully. Does anyone know about these? Okay. Nobody knows about them. You've seen them. Okay. You go to the children's section. Oh, let's go back so you can see where it's at. Click back. So you go to the library, you go to children, and you go to taking charge of technology. Go to there.
It's also under youth.
Oh, is it under youth as well? Oh, good. A whole program full of videos, trainings, how to set boundaries, not only with phones, but they've updated it with AI. Fantastic tools. Look at them. Incorporate them into your trainings with your family. Build those boundaries, those guidelines, those ethics on how to use this. Because the world and colleges and students and all those things are going to push different ethics with those things, okay, on how to use those. And they're going to be faced with things that we never dreamed of, with the capability of creating some of this content, okay? Fantastic tool, so check it out. And that's your homework, to look at that kind of stuff, okay? Because it's really, really good. They have this purpose, plan, and pause kind of thing with little videos for kids and teens. They went all out on this. This came out in 2023. When chat hit hard, this is when this came out, okay? And it was a newsroom article in 2023. Nobody knows about it. Nobody.
What specifically are you addressing on this, on the youth group? What are you?
Does it have that on the youth group? The taking charge of
technology?
Yes. Oh, you found it? Oh, good. So it is there too on the youth group, as you mentioned. Okay. So that's a fantastic tool for that. Okay. So with that, I want to get to some of these quotes, these powerful quotes here. And I wanted to just pause and think about this. I know we're running low on time. What time? Oh, what time are we getting out of here? Where's
whenever you say you're done.
Oh, we're done. Okay. Just for fun, I know we didn't get to this. We kind of passed it up. In the middle here, it's super funny. A teenager, bless his soul, took all of the Batman episode transcripts from the old Batman series, and he put them into ChatGPT with one prompt. He didn't prompt chain, he didn't guide it or anything. He put them all in there, uploaded them all, and he said, create me a Batman script. And it pumped this out, okay? If you want to get a kick out of that, let me just read it. And again, I put that there just to kind of showcase, like, GPT without proper prompting, it can be a nightmare, okay? You guys want to read that really quick? It's super funny. Can I get a Batman? Who can be my Batman voice? It's got to be kind of gruff and like get into it a little bit.
Anthony, I know, that's what I said.
Batman?
Sounds ready.
Yeah, I'm so rough. Okay, Jim, you're a Batman. I need a narrator. Who can be a narrator?
Are you standing?
Oh yeah, come on up. That's even better. Let's act this out. Let's play around. Let's make fun of GPT together.
Okay, here we go.
All right, we got a narrator. I need an Alfred. Alfred only has one part, so if you want a part, that's it.
English accent preferred?
I'll do Alfred. It's one part. I need a Joker, the hero of the anti-hero. Joker. Very good. Okay, come on up. Come on up. Okay, who's my narrator? Go ahead, narrator.
In the traditional Batcave, Batman stands next to his Batmobile and uses his Bat computer. He's sometimes Bruce Wayne, sometimes Batman, all times Orson.
This is now a safe city. I punched a penguin into prison.
Alfred, Batman's loyal battler, carries a tray of goth ham
Eat a dinner, Mattress Wayne.
An explosion explodes. The Joker and Two-Face enter the cave. Joker is a clown, but insane. Two-Face is a man, but attorney.
No, it's the Two-Face and One-Face. They hate me for being a bat.
Batman throws Alfred at Two-Face. Come on, Alfred. Two-Face flips Alfred like a coin.
Oh my God.
Alfred lands heads up, which means Two-Face goes home.
It's just you and I, the Joker. The Joker. Bat versus clown. Moral enemies.
I am such a freak. Society is bad. You drink water, I drink anarchy.
I drink bats just like a bat would.
Batman looks around for his parents, but they are still dead. This makes him have anger.
Anger.
He fires a bat rocket. The Joker deflects it with his sixth sense of humor. A clownly power.
I have never followed a rule. That is my rule. Do you follow? I don't.
Alfred, give birth to Robin.
Alfred begins the process, since it is his job. The Joker now has a present in his hand. He juggles it over to Batman.
Happy Bat Day, Birdman.
Batman opens a present, since he's a good guy. It contains a coupon for new tickets. But it's expired. This is a Joker joke.
Can we put this in and create a video?
We can, yeah.
I don't think I want to see Alfred give birth.
I do that with my students. That's the best performed one I've ever seen.
Yeah,
Bravo. So that's to remind you, hey, this tool needs prompting. It needs guidance. Even though this by itself is better than a lot of movies out there already. There we go. Whose line is it?
Yeah.
Okay. So, what does this mean to us? How do we handle this? What do we do with our kids? How do we use this tool? How do we teach them? The first thing you need to do is be aware. Okay, instead of being that one, it's like, I don't use GPT, I don't know whatever AI is, it's being aware. Okay, learning about it, playing with the tool a little bit. Whether you use it in your daily life or not, that's up to you. Okay, I use it quite a bit for help and prompting and tools. And for example, I'm teaching a class on Malala. We're learning about Malala in Pakistan. You know, and I've struggled with understanding Islam. You know, and studying the tenets of Islam and how it works and their beliefs. So I program a GPT and I'm like, hey, be my coach. Take the role of a theologian, okay? And I'm going to ask you questions. I want you to respond back to me. Use these valid sources, which I found from online about Islam. And I have conversations with them. I'm like, teach me what's happening here. Why do they do this? Why do they believe this? What does the Quran talk about here? What does it mean? And it's using and pulling those sources that I fed into it, and it's teaching me as a coach. Deeper learning, okay? Helping me to understand, okay? So with that in mind, let's read through a couple of these quotes, and as we read these, I want you to ponder and think about these things, okay? There's some deep ones here, okay? And I want you to think about your thoughts and feelings, because that's how the Spirit works, through your thoughts and feelings. And it's going to talk to you a little bit about how you could talk to your own kids, or how you could incorporate this. Be mindful of that, because it will teach you individually as we read through some of these, because these are powerful, and these are happening right now. Okay? A challenge for you. You mentioned it. Tell me your name one more time. Brian. Brian mentioned it. 2 talks you need to read. Okay? Things as They Really Are 1.0, which happened in 2013. He gave a second talk 10 years later, Things as They Really Are 2.0. Take both those talks, put them into ChatGPT and say, what are the key similarities and differences? And go to town with it and learn. Because it's incredible. crazy. It's crazy what he warned us about in 2013 and what happened in 2023. It's fascinating. Okay, so here's the first one. Brian, you got that? Can you read that first one for us? Oh, let's go.
I will.
Yeah. Well, go ahead, Lacey.
We should not be afraid or attempt to hide from AI, but the righteous possibilities of this amazing technological tool can be realized only if we are aware of and guard against its perils.
Should not be afraid of this. Okay? When AI came out hard and strong, go online and read about how it helped us with our indexing. Fascinating story. Finished up our indexing, just like that, with AI. Okay? There's an AI tool on your LDS apps now in the handbook. It's amazing. Okay? How it works. Okay? Okay, number 2. Can I get someone to read number 2? Yeah, go ahead, Jean.
Now I believe AI appropriately can assist in gathering information, critique our thinking, evaluating our writing style, and accelerating an iterative process of learning line upon line and precept upon precept. But the divine capacities to create and work belong uniquely to each of us as sons and daughters of God.
Think about that for a second. Okay? It is our natural tendency to seek out the easy path. That's the natural tendency in all of us. 7th graders and 8th graders especially. They will always naturally seek out that easy path. We do the same thing, right? If there's an easy path put in front of you, we have to teach and learn and practice to work. That doesn't come as natural, okay? We have to seek that out. Okay, next one. Number 3. President?
Artificial intelligence cannot simulate, imitate, or replace the influence of the Holy Ghost in our lives.
It has the appearance of things that it's not. It has the appearance of intelligence, but it's just a tool pulling from patterns, giving you what it thinks you want to hear. That's a message you need to take home, okay? Adults need to know that when they're typing things in and asking it questions. It's not the end all, it's not God. Elder Gon talks about that. Like, there are people wanting this to be a version of God, where you can ask it anything and get the exact perfect right answer. Yeah. Okay, next one. Number 4. Go ahead.
One of my great concerns is that over-reliance on AI technology will cause us to become spiritually slothful and shallow, and to forfeit the blessings made possible through righteous work.
The power of work, the power of doing it, going through the process, learning. If you use the tool correctly, it can still be that process, okay? But it's not a shortcut, okay? When the world went nuts, there's some funny articles if you look this up. When digital calculators came out forever ago, the world went nuts. Like, our kids are gonna get dumb. You can't give them a calculator. If you go even further back, there's some funny commentary on when individual chalkboards came out in the early 1800s. Parents were like, no, my kids are not learning with the chalkboard. That's horrible. You're gonna rot their brains. Okay? It's the same. Now, I'm just making light of that. Obviously, this is very different than that. But every time a new tool comes out like that, we have that thing like, kids can't learn with this. They can't learn with calculators. Okay? What do they call a computerized calculator? What are those called? Like the graphing calculators. When graphing calculators came out, the same kind of things. Oh, they're not going to learn anything. Okay? We just have to learn how to teach those parameters around it, how to use that tool.
I think we need to be careful not to downplay those fears though, because there are portions of our mind that have atrophied with those tools.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like ability to do mental math, like it's almost non-existent now.
Yep, and a new study came out, which was done through Claude and their sister company. Just did this big study on the brain, and over-reliance on chat, GPT, or artificial intelligence is already showing like atrophy in the brain. 20-year studies have come out with smartphones, which is a completely different topic right now. 20-year studies have come back from the youth using those growing up, and there's atrophy happening with that.
Yeah, I was listening to an interview with a recruiter, in recruiting, he says like some of the changes of people that I can tell when some people that have heavily used ChatGPT all through college, all through high school, the people that have actually had a long enough exposure to it during formative years.
Yeah.
Like he said, one particular example, an extreme example, he'd ask a question and there'd be this really awkward pause and then a good answer. He's like, he just said, I'm just gonna ask him, why do you keep pausing? Like, oh, I think about it's like in my mind I prompt it, and I think about what it would say back and when I say that.
That's awesome. There's this funny, if you get a chance, go on YouTube, see if you can find it. I don't have the link to it, but it's this couple and they're making fun of it. And he's getting in a fight with his wife and he runs over to the side. He's like, ChatGPT, I'm fighting with my wife. What should I say? And it's like, tell her that you love her, blah, blah. I love you, blah, blah. And she's like, my husband just told me that he loves me. What do I say back to him? And it tells her and she's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's just.
It's an extreme example, obviously someone that overused it heavily, but.
Yeah, we have to be mindful of those things. Yep.
So how do you set parameters?
Very good. How do you set those parameters? Okay, my first thing I would tell you is to go check out those sources on there. They're very powerful. But the first things I do in my family is to identify things. My kids know how GPTs work, they know how AI works, and they're like, okay. And once they have those set standards in place, we talk about it as a tool, how to use it properly. Okay, that's how I do it with my family. Like my girls know what GPT is, they know how the basics of it work, things like that. And we have rules, guidelines, like is this you? Is this your work? You know, how can I use this tool to help me? You know, any other ideas? How can we teach this? Yeah.
Is there a way to say, okay, from a teacher's perspective, screen this and see if it comes from AI? I mean, is there a reverse diagnostic to say, you know, there's fingerprints of this being?
There are AI checkers, but they're faulty and they're
Okay.
not good.
Okay,
And I
so
would
it's
not
not-
use them.
Okay.
Just as tell me your last name again. Anderson. There's and people can get around them so easily. And so that's why you have to teach how to use it properly. You have to teach the ethics, the morals, why do we do this? You know, why do we need to do this? You know, why is it moral? Why is it not moral? But the problem is the world's giving us different messages because of the music and the video industry. It's like I said, it's a Wild West and there's no rules. And so everyone's like, it's okay, it's fine. And so it's a tricky situation. That's a good question. Let's go here and then here and back.
Does the order of the prompt structure influence the feedback that you get significantly, or is it?
It does. Your prompting is powerful, especially chain prompting.
Yeah, because there's got to be a structure that optimizes the best feedback.
It's not the order, it's having each component there.
Yep.
So
Okay,
you
so
gotta
that's-
give the context, the role, the action you want from it.
Yep.
You can even tell, I want it in this format. This is.
The order doesn't matter.
Not really.
Not really. And
Okay.
some of my prompts are 12 pages long. Like I am getting into deep back and forth prompting until when I get into my deep studies, like I'm going 12, 15 pages of back and forth.
Yeah,
Tell-
I've gone that deep too,
Yeah.
but I'm just like, is there a trick to it, right?
Well, like he said, the trick is giving it a role, a context, rules. You can, there's prompt engineering things you can do like quickly to get very concise kind of things. A lot of people use multiple tools, so they'll do their prompting in Claude or Perplexity, which is a little more constructive, and build their prompts and bring it into ChatGPT, because you'll find that each GPT is a little bit different. So there's lots of different ways. So that's a good question.
Real quick, I have noticed a difference. I'll be going through a chain and it starts going off way wrong, you know, different direction than what I'm wanting it to do, and I'm having a hard time getting it to come back to what the purpose.
Yeah.
And I'll go back and reorder my prompts. I'll start a new chat and just start reordering my prompts, and it will come back with a more
cleaner.
Yeah. So it does make a difference in your chain prompts. It can start going off on tangents. So I don't know what the answer is though. I don't know which ones are more important than others and how it follows that.
That's the art of AI right now, is to figure out how to feed it.
Yeah.
Let me go back here and then I'll come over to you. Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you were going back to your original question about how do we help them. I found, what was it, last year or two, my son trying to use ChatGPT with math, and it was just a crutch. It was not getting better, it was not helping him. It's like, oh, it's teaching me. I'm like, no, it's not. we cut it off completely for math, because it was holding him back.
That's good.
Blocked.
Yeah, we just blocked it.
And that's powerful, and that's part of the boundaries, right?
He wasn't
Yep.
learning the
Yep.
theory, it wasn't like becoming a tool to enhance.
It was a crutch.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's powerful. I like that. So that could be one way to it. Yeah, back to the back. Greg.
So I wanna make a comment on the, we should not be afraid of AI. So I went down this rabbit hole with AI. And I wanted to understand how much energy does AI use? So some research.
This is shocking. Listen to this.
So 183 terawatts in the year 2024, which is equivalent to, so 1 terawatt is 1 billion kilowatts. That cost OpenAI about $150 million in the most recent year. And that's just one of the companies. So it's 4% of the US energy consumption to do what AI can do today. And so we all understand that's a huge scale. It's expected to double in the next 5 years or so. But compare that to the human brain for a second. Does anybody know how much energy the human brain requires? Or James? So it's only 20 watts in a regular day under normal human activity. So a dim light bulb is about what it takes to run the human brain. So if you compare, so I said, okay, well, how many human brains would it take to equal the computational power of all of the AI? And the answer is 400. So almost the human brains in this room rival the computational power of all of the AI. It takes hundreds of millions of dollars a year just to turn the machines on.
But since you asked it, it's already tripled.
So anybody has any doubt about the creator of heaven and earth and all of us, don't be worried. AI's got a long ways to go.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah.
So, setting these parameters, we use I think it's Perplexity for that amount. Are there settings that you can go into that you don't have to repeat the parameters every time you do a search, or?
You can. So if you have an account or a pro version of the ChatGPT Gemini, you have to tell me on Claude. You can create folders or notebooks or whatever they call them, and it keeps all track of those with the memory of all those things. So I can go to my go to ChatGPT. I can go to my health. I shouldn't go to my health.
So real quick.
So I can go to, yeah, go ahead.
Even on the free ones, you can go into your settings and personalize and do custom instructions.
Okay.
And you can just set, it's general, it's not like you can go pull from certain libraries or folders, but it's just a general set of instructions. Like I gave it some to always be skeptical and truthful and to check sources so that it always
does that. So you can set those for each individual folder.
Is that where it's forwarding from?
You can. So like in the LDS doctrine thing I had, like it's literally pulling from the only sources that I've given it. You know, but it does pull out everything that I put back into it. So if I'm putting other sources or giving other prompts, it's going to take those into consideration. But it's my curated sources.
So I'm thinking for our kids, like how can we set these parameters on ChatGPT?
Well, you can build your own GPT for your family, name it your family thing, make it private, add in your sources to it, but just know that it doesn't have family features on it yet. Like if they go to this, they're gonna have access to everything.
Right.
You know what I mean? And so, but that GPT will be there. You would just have to control that aspect. But that's a good question.
Well, and I think it's, like you said, it's about educating our kids and telling them, this is how it works.
Yeah.
These are the sources you can trust, and not having them go to Reddit to explain polygamy.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think it's important to remember inside this GPT name is trained. All of these have been trained by someone else, by a corporation with their own interests, their own opinions, their own biases. All the sources have been curated and trained by someone else. I mean, that's why like Gemini was producing crazy images when it was first launched. It was like, because it was so heavily trained to be diverse that history was absurd, like you had like African Vikings and stuff like that. Because it had biases trained into it. And so you gotta remember, all of them have that. All of them have that.
Yep. And it's kind of like what we talked about at the beginning, like whose ethics are behind this?
Yeah.
You know, whose morals are behind it? Like, go to Elder Gong's stuff in Italy, watch it. It's fascinating. He's standing up in front of those guys and he's like, guys, we need morals behind this. We need boundaries. And who are creating those morals, you know?
Amoral society.
Yep. And so it's powerful. So that's good. Yeah. Okay, let's go to our just last quote here. We're just gonna end with this one. Wait, is this the first? Oh, go one more. Sorry, keep going down to the next slide. Is that the last one? Oh, go one up, one more. That one. Okay, someone read this last quote for me. Go ahead.
First, we must be clear and help society understand that AI is not and cannot be God. No set of utilitarian AI algorithms should determine or speak for our most treasured human values and spiritual experiences. Second, let us help chart a future where AI genuinely contributes to the common good, including human thriving and common prosperity for people everywhere. Third, we can commit together to ensure AI's moral compass is not dictated solely by technology or the small group developing the technology. Those committed to faith-based morals, ethics, and values are needed in this conversation.
And that kind of goes back to some of these comments. Be that voice. Yeah. Be a voice for these things. Learn it, teach it, make it so the generation that is coming up has those boundaries in place and don't have to figure them out later in life. Okay? Smartphones and those kind of things hit us, some of this older, I guess I'm older generation, hit us later in life, right? As a kid, I didn't have to learn those boundaries with a phone. My girls are learning those boundaries with phones. They're gonna grow up with some sort of boundaries in place. I got slapped in the face with a smartphone, you know, and then had to create those boundaries on the go, okay? We're in a unique situation as parents to be a voice for these kind of things, to help the youth, to help the kids, to help ourselves and understand these kind of things, to set those boundaries, to be a voice for these and the moral aspects of them, okay? These kids are gonna grow up and be the ones creating legislation to help move these kind of things and create those boundaries in our world, okay? So take this, hopefully you got a few things out of this, a few different ideas and thoughts. Play around with the tool, get to know it a little bit, and explore, and then teach those kind of things. Yeah.
Just a question, and this might not be the forum for it, but I've been trying to teach the kids, you know, these boundaries and things like that, and I'm just wondering, and I don't know how the other parents feel, but is there any direction from the school standpoint? Because so far it's no AI. And so I'm just wondering if there's gonna be any guidance or if there's some thought towards, okay, how can we allow and set some boundaries to allow the children to learn from AI and use it as a tool, not as a crutch? If there's been any kind of discussion or thought.
There's been a lot of discussion. But we don't have a lot of answers yet.
It's been a challenge, you know, how do what boundaries do we set when the school says no? You know, so we've honored that, but it would be nice to see like some kind of allowance for that. As long as it's them, like you said, it's authentic, it's them, it's not AI that's coming up with the answers.
Yeah,
And part of that is your challenge is how do you be everything to everyone? And so we're trying to provide something that is oral exams, presentations, things that still hone and magnify the capacity of them. And then this allows you as a family to take care of the other stuff. Because what we're trying to do here is totally different than what AI can do. You know, this in-person group presentation, you know, those kinds of things. That's kind of where our focus is. But it doesn't mean it's not going to be part of it, right? But I think that's where most of our energy's going.
Well, I mean,
We have a lot of opinions. Go first.
Well, so at work, again, I lead a support team. And I've said, like, if you don't learn, like, if you don't learn the product yourself, you don't use this tool to teach yourself and enhance your own abilities, when you're on a call in front of a customer, you're gonna be fumbling around, looking like an idiot, even more than you might already feel like you do, if you keep using this as a crutch. Or you're gonna send bogus stuff to customers if you don't know enough to catch hallucinations. So if you don't build capacity in yourself, it will limit you. You can use what you have and you can fill yourself with knowledge from it, but if you don't have it building you, it can't enhance you, it'll only diminish you.
Well, that makes me think about some of these young kids, 7, 6, getting smartphones with no restrictions. And having access to these type of tools for learning and growing and relying on things as a crutch. And then by the time they get into their, teenage years, they're already built up those habits for those kind of things. Yeah. Scary. Yep.
That's a lot of what I was gonna say. Good job, honey. But I just think, I feel like there's an order to things, right? And there's an order to learning and an order, and like there's a process of like progression, right? Like that's why we don't hand the kids the phone at age 6, like they are not ready for it. So we have to kind of guide them into it. And I don't know if we just totally, like nobody has access to anything in our house, like the ChatGPT or anything like that. So I think there's an image, you're like an image creator or something that the kids play around with sometimes.
It's hard, they have Google, they have GPT.
Yeah.
But it's like, but I'm like Caleb was saying, if they don't have a foundation to build on and they don't have their own minds and their own discernment, like they haven't developed that the way that we as adults have developed that. Even though they can pick out what's fake and what's real, that's different than truth and error. And you know what I mean? Like that sort of discernment.
Process of learning, which
yes,
they don't
the
have
process
down.
of learning. They don't know it, so they need to learn it, and then they can use it as a tool and add that into their learning. But I just feel like, I know at our house, I think I'm just more afraid of it. I'm ready. I'm like ready for the bunker, but I'm like, but for me, I'm just like, let's just not. And like you think about these kids, like I was reading this thing the other day where, not the other day, this was a while ago, but they would give kids in Africa an iPad. They would figure out how to use it within an hour. So it's not like they're at a disadvantage to get it later. They can figure this out later. I don't know. And maybe that's passing the buck.
I think they'll be more powerful when they get the tool, when they've built something internally.
Yeah.
So
teach them the why.
That's my bias, is it's a tool to enhance, but it can hold you back.
Tremendous. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Well, it's not going anywhere, and our kids are gonna use it.
Yeah.
Like, it's out there, so I think we need to let our kids know, don't be afraid of it, and we need to be involved with them while they're using it. Hey, what are you doing? Don't let them go up to their bedroom, shut the bedroom door, cause whatever, but, so it's there. And it, like you said, there's a lot of good things that can happen with it, but we need to be involved with our kids. We need to have that open communication, that open conversation with our kids, cause even if one kid doesn't have it at his house, well, when he's at school, the kid next to him has it, so now he has it. So we just need to be part of it, and not be afraid of it, cause it's there.
It's a tool, it's there. Yep. Yep. I don't know why it just popped in my head, Music Man. Remember when they got a pool table? It caused all sorts of havoc. It's just, when you said that, the song popped in my head. Okay, thank you all. I appreciate you. Hopefully something was piqued or tweaked or came up in your head that you're thinking about how to approach this and learn about it. I'm still learning about it. So much to learn. And like my industry, it's exploding, okay? And yeah, and follow the lead of the leaders that are leading this industry, the apostles that are leading the way. It's just powerful, powerful stuff. week after week, I get new things from Elder Gong on this kind of stuff. He is on the front lines of this kind of stuff. And he is a thought leader on it, and he knows it inside and out. He comes from a research background at the university level. It's a fantastic mind, just razor sharp. Yep.
Where are you getting that, like, what are you?
So like how am I finding his stuff on it? Yep, so usually in the church newsroom, so get those newsletters sent to you, you can access that through your gospel app. But those, I get constant updates on what he's up to. And of course, the algorithm knows that, Google algorithm knows that I'm looking for those stuff, so I get updates on those things. But he is traveling the globe, attending these conferences with other religious leaders, and they're pushing hard to have some sort of moral legislation put around this kind of thing. And he's building those boundaries at a higher level, and that's the level that we need to have at an individual basis with this kind of stuff. And so, yeah, be mindful of that. Okay, thank you all.
Hey.